Well, we saw yesterday what happens when Donald Trump is asked real substantive policy questions, and it's not good. He doesn't like it. Donald Trump was asked about this new big, beautiful bill. Can you guarantee that your voters will not lose health insurance under this bill? Intuitively, we know that they will if the bill comes to full fruition because of the cuts that are in the bill. If you think back to 2017, we all remember that when Trump actually had a plan, it was the plan Republicans decided not to go forward with in 2017 because somewhere between 24 and 32 million Americans would have lost health care coverage over the following decade. So they don't have exactly a good track record with this stuff. But needless to say, here is Trump answering the question, can you guarantee no one will lose health insurance? And Trump's like, yeah, no, they won't. And then he goes on to talk about completely unrelated things.
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
Can you guarantee that your voters who supported the election, particularly working class voters, will not lose health insurance under this bill?
Oh, they won't lose health insurance. Not only that, remember, I'm cutting drug prices by 85%. And right now, I'm saving it. I'm saving the whole thing because I did something that nobody was willing to do. Other countries pay a tiny fraction what we do. And I instituted favored nations. We're now going to pay the lowest in the world. We're going to be the equivalent of the lowest country in the world.
Notice how Trump gives only the most minor, oh, yeah, no one will lose health care coverage, but then very quickly moves on to the issue of the pharmaceutical prices that he's going to cut, even though it's not clear how. You might remember that the executive order he signed, whose legal mechanisms for reducing pharmaceutical prices we still don't understand, said 30 to 80%. Then Trump's been saying at least 50%. Now he even hyperbolically goes to 85%. What is the truth of it? We still have no idea what the mechanism is for reducing prices. But more importantly, Trump doesn't seem particularly concerned with the reality that indeed people may lose health care coverage under this plan. Trump then asked an equally reasonable question. How is it a good idea to cut food assistance in this bill? You might recall, as I told you yesterday, that this tax bill includes additional requirements if you want to keep your food stamp benefits. It sounds like that would take food stamps away from people. Trump goes, no. More people will have food thanks to what I'm doing. What?
Very much. You campaigned on lowering the price of groceries. How do you justify cutting food assistance in this bill?
Let me just tell you, the cut is going to give everybody much more food because prices are coming way down. Groceries are down. Eggs. You told me about eggs. You asked me a question about eggs. My first week, you said eggs. I said, I just got here. Tell me about eggs. And it was going through the roof. You know that eggs now, way down. Everybody's buying eggs. Groceries down. Energy's down. Gasoline is now they're buying gasoline now for $1.99.
Now, as we talked about earlier, Trump's regularly lying about gas prices. The truth is that gas prices are basically flat. I'm not here to tell you they're way up under Trump. They're up about 1%. It's essentially flat. And of course, gas prices are not the big kind of adjudicating factor as to the state of the economy that Trump likes to believe they are. But on every aspect of this, my suggestion is let's bookmark and then double check. Is no one going to lose health coverage? Is no one who needs them going to go without food stamps or without food? Because these promises seem completely not based in fact. Now, the topic of the Pope came up, and Trump weirdly says one of the Pope's brothers, well, kind of two, but one of the Pope's brothers is a big MAGA guy, and I'd like to give him a hug.
But I think I like him. Yeah, I like the Pope and I like the Pope's brother. You know, one of the Pope's brothers, actually both of them, but one in particular is a major MAGA fan. Did you know that? He lives in Florida. He's got MAGA, he's got Trump. And I look forward to getting him to the White House. I want to shake his hand. I want to give him a big hug. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right. So Trump really wanting to hug the brother of the Pope. And then it really got wacky, where you might have noticed hanging around here in the background, if you're watching the clips, is MAGA Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. And MAGA Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, goes on one of these, they came to me with tears in their eyes, saying that Trump got multiple standing ovations during his closed door meeting with House Republicans. Now, I actually don't know if it's sad or if it's true or if it's false. I'll explain what I mean in a moment.
Job. And I think this was a tremendous session. You may want to say something.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. The party is unified. The House Republican Conference is excited. Multiple standing ovations. They love this president. The people back home love what he's doing. It's historic, and everybody understands the scope and the meaning of this. If we do not accomplish this mission, every one of you, all the American people, are going to have the highest tax increase that you've ever had. And among the debt ceiling cliff that's approaching and all the...
Now, remember that the real highest tax increase would be the blanket tariffs on every single country. That's really the area of concern. That's the primary thing that we should be worried about. But no, it's the standing ovations for Trump in a closed door meeting that tell us how great he is. Now, I'll be honest with you. What's more embarrassing? If Republicans really did give Trump multiple standing ovations in a closed door meeting where he just rants and gives his normal tirades, or if Mike Johnson is lying about it. I actually don't know which one would be more humiliating. In a sort of semi-comedic interlude, although it's also darkly authoritarian, Trump gets a question he doesn't like from a reporter he doesn't know. So he does the only thing he knows how to do, which is to say, "Where do you work?" And then to say, "I don't know what that is. Therefore, your question must not be valid."
Andy Harris said that you didn't adequately convince enough people to vote for the bill, the House Freedom Caucus.
You mean after this speech?
After this speech, that's what
Oh,
she
yeah, I think
said.
so. Well, why don't we see how the vote is? I think it was a great talk. It wasn't a speech we talked about. And who do you work for?
Notice.
Who?
Notice.
I don't even know what the hell that is. You gotta get yourself a real job.
Get yourself a real job. You know, this is one of those moments where I admit there's a funny aspect to it. And then you realize how darkly authoritarian it is and just how dystopian it is. The idea that the question's validity is based essentially on whether Trump knows or likes you or knows or likes the publication you work for rather than the substance of the question. Trump then going into this Autopen conspiracy, you know, it's his new shiny object. It's the thing he's most obsessed with. The Autopen may disqualify everything Biden ever did.
For 6 months. And that was a very frightening thing because the Democrats have really hurt our country. And we are going to go into very much, so remember what I said, the Autopen. This government was illegally run for 4 years. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. And, you know, I would look at an espresso machine before the Autopen. If I thought that there was a machine that had rigged an election and a presidency, the Autopen maybe, but those espresso machines have me really, really suspicious. Trump obsessed with this at this point in time. And then finally, as usual, at the conclusion of this, Trump wandering almost into a wall and a police officer rather than walking down the hallway until MAGA Mike Johnson pointed him in the right direction.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Whoops. All right. So maybe Trump went to the officer thinking they're going to do another mugshot. I must be getting arrested again. Serious questions he doesn't like. Substantive questions he cannot answer. And after the break, after we deal with Caroline Leavitt lying to little kids, I know, we will get to a proposal from this administration for a Golden Dome defense system, which I predict will never be built. Very quick break and then right back. I've been using Graza olive oil for years, and I am super excited that Graza is now a sponsor of the show. Graza olive oil is always fresh. It's never blended. They use one olive from one region in Spain, no mysterious blends. It's a traceable and fresher product. And the packaging is super practical. None of these messy, drippy spouts. Graza oils come in easy to use squeeze and spray bottles. They've got 3 types, super simple. Frizzle for high smoke point cooking, sizzle for everyday cooking, and drizzle, which is more for garnishes and dressings. I've been using Graza oil in my house for years. I love everything about it, and my audience gets 10% off the trio, which comes with all 3 of the varieties that they offer in a squeezy bottle. So you are all set for every style of cooking. Go to graza.co and use the code PACMAN. The link is in the description.